So the topic for today, as I said, the last week's or the video contents that you have seen were something like this, that you have created a form by using this one. And just for this is just for a repetition purpose, that if I just take out this CSS from here, or just try to make it something which is not available, style11.css. So you remember that you just take out the CSS and your form becomes this mess. And you have implemented the CSS, and that was a very good practice of how you can just uh, you can just make few things, how to make input text area look beautiful, how to make them like in a grid fashion or something. So there are lots of things that we wanted to do, but what we are doing today, we'll be using this same form to style it with the bootstrap. Right, okay, no problem. So we'll try to style it with the bootstrap, and today you'll get an introduction of the bootstrap. And as I said, most of you would start loving it, and you would just try to embed that everywhere. So this is my index file which I'm running right now. So I will keep this file as it is. So why not? Why? Because just want to have that file as well. And I will be creating another file, and let's call it, you can call it anything, right? I can call it new file, right? Just for that. Otherwise, I would have called it bootstrap. So new file.html, right? And what I want to do is I will just copy and paste everything from this file, and I'll tell you what I don't want. So I'll just paste that over here. Okay, and what I don't want here is, now I don't want this style sheet. Maybe I don't want to delete. I don't want to delete this. So this is a new file, and its name is newfile.html. And if I want to run it, I will just go here and I will run newfile.html. Yep. I think you should follow. Yes, I would like you to follow. So I will be a bit slow now. I have just created another file in that folder, and I've called it new file. You can call it anything. You can call it bootstrap. You can call it with bootstrap, whatever. So I've just used another file, and I have just copied and pasted everything from index.html, and I have just pasted everything into this new file. Other than that, I've just taken out the style sheet from that. And why? Because I don't want the style sheet from here, and rather I want something different. Are you following me now? So now, this is not form and CSS styles. Rather, this is now forms by Bootstrap, right? So I'm just changing the heading on my page, H2. So this heading should be changed, forms by Bootstrap. Now we'll be just using the Bootstrap library to work on that, right? So now, as I said, I'm just going back to style.css. I'm just closing this one. The style.css, which we were using in the index, we have very much connected this one here. So we were using this style.css to apply all these stylings and things like that. And it is always very helpful, very powerful, because Bootstrap, one way or other, sometimes Bootstrap will not be providing you some of the things that you need to do. But rather than defining our own style sheet and doing this lots of CSS code, what HTML provides us, or what HTML5 provides us, are some pre-built libraries. So this is one of the pre-built library, which is called Bootstrap. And what is that? It's quickly designed and customized responsive mobile first sites with Bootstrap. So it will be just helping us out to design responsive mobile first sites. So these days, whenever you are designing a website, you have to keep in mind that more than now, if I safely say, more than 50% of the people, most of the times, they will be accessing your website from mobile device. So if you want to make it a bit more responsive, you need to use this library, the Bootstrap library. Now, so Bootstrap, the world's most popular front-end open source toolkit. It's a toolkit or a library featuring Sass variables and mixins, responsive grid systems, extensive rebuild components. So there are lots of interesting components that it uses, and we will be just using them and use. So I will just not download this. I'll just go to the get started, and I'll just try to do the good, the quick start something. So what I need to do is, or what I will be doing, this Bootstrap is providing us a pre-made CSS style sheet, a pre-made JS files that would be very fastly, as someone said, that very quickly they will be implementing some of the very cool effects on our website. And rather than, if I say not only website, rather if you say that this form, that you remember that we have used CSS to design that. Now I want to use this pre-built CSS from Bootstrap. So if you go to this introduction, get started, it says that get started Bootstrap, the world's most popular framework for building responsive designs. And if you see here that for quick start, first of all, it says that copy and paste this one. So I'm copying this one from here. And let me go to my document. And which document? New file.html. Please bear in mind where I've removed my CSS link, my own CSS link. Now, if you see here, it has just copied and pasted that link to me for me. Not only that, we need something else, because some of their styles, they may be used, as you see, many of our components require the use of JavaScript function. So there are certain JavaScript functions also they want us to use. For that, just copy this one from here, the bundle, right? And paste it in our document. But you remember, we usually paste our style at the end. So we need to just paste that one. If you see here, that we have got src, integrity, cross origin. So it has just given that script, right? Okay, so let me show you something interesting. Rather than running in it, I will run it. Okay. I'm running it over here. It is, what is the name? New file.html. You see here, do you see any difference? I'll just show you the difference. Let me remove that link. The CSS link that I added, I'm removing that because I want to show you the difference. So Control S, I have saved that. You see, this is my form right now, right? So this is my form. And if you see quickly, if I want to show you something very interesting, when I just add that link to CSS, which is what is that CSS? This is basically the CSS of that Bootstrap. So as I add this Bootstrap CSS, yes, okay, you can get that. Just hold on. You want to have that. Okay. But as I said that this is okay. Anyhow, I'll just copy that. So should I copy it? I'm a new file. Should I copy it over here? Are you able to paste it from here? I don't know. Okay, I'll explain that. But first of all, if let me just share that file. Let me save it. I'm sharing this file. Okay, I'm sharing this file. No problems. Okay. Right. So someone is asking something else. I'll just come back to that, and I will definitely do that as well. No worries. Here I have used this new file. Yes, here. So you see, if you are able to access that file, let me know. And there was some other comment. Yes, I've done. Yes, that is also okay. So how to copy Bootstrap and CSS reference? Okay, I'm just telling you again. Someone is asking that. So if you see here, first of all, we have come to the getbootstrap.com. I'm replying to that. Someone asked how to copy that. So I have come here and I have come to the get started link. And in get started, I have copied this CSS from here. And I have tried to paste it over here in my here. I have just pasted the wrong, right? So I just pasted the CSS file link here, right? I've not saved that. I have got the answer. You were asking me to copy, and then what I've done is I have pasted the JS link. This is the JS. This is the JS link, JavaScript link, the bundle. You got it? That's good. So now I have pasted this JS at the bottom over here, and the CSS link at the top. And I wanted to show you something, and that's what I'm showing you right now. If you see here that I have added this link, and now as I save this document, do you see something different? What is the difference? Can anyone tell me? As I save my document, you see something has already been changed. What is that? This CSS has started to play its effect. You see the fonts have changed. The text box have come some different different form, and But again, of course, there is no alignment and anything. But CSS has started to play its part. If you see that CSS is changed, but of course it's not responsive right now.
Excuse me.
Yes,
You still have some padding and margin.
Where?
Yeah, mine doesn't have that. That's why I'm confused.
I still have some padding and margin where?
My all the elements are
Like this. You
stuck. Yeah,
have this one.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you. So you people will be looking this like this one. Everyone looks like this, because thank you very much. You have just mentioned that, because I had that different mode.
Professor, mine looking different somehow.
What type of is that? Is it something like this or something like this?
It's like my first name, last name. It comes down, and like that tax area. It's on the. It's like it's a bigger one.
Okay. So no worries. Right now, please don't worry about it. And
okay.
What I want you to just experience is that when I just take out this one, for example, you can just experience this right now. If I take out this one and save, you see document is very different. And when I paste it back and I save, and I see a very different document, like the font is changed and things like that. But again, don't worry about the rest of the things. We'll try to settle them all later on. You can tell me if that is not good.
One other irrelevant kind of question: when you save, your href-rel integrity and cross origin comes in line. How do you do that?
Okay, so okay. I want to just know. So right. So now if you see here that we have got this, we can see that bootstrap difference, like as long as I give this CSS, it basically just implements few different things. And again, time and again, I'm saying that's why I just wanted to show you that if I save this one, so you see my form looks like this. But when I do something like this, my form changes a bit, and this changes into something something more cool. But then it's not that cool, of course. Okay, so now that's one thing. I am using the Firefox browser, and I would recommend you can use anyone, but the Firefox, sometimes, in most of the cases, sometimes Firefox is good, sometimes. So I'm using the Firefox browser. So if you have opened up this document and you right click, of course, go to inspect element, and if you see here, I hope you are able to see. You see here that there is something called responsive design mode. So if you click on that one, that was already clicked for me, right? So responsive design. So this is called a responsive design something, which gives us this facility to design our things according to the different view areas. For example, this has just changed something into this one. And also what you can do is that it is a responsive one. You can just try to do that, squeeze that, maybe expand that. So it will show you that how your document will look like while you are doing. So this is a responsive design. How we have come here, let me just again go back. This is the document that you people see that I was looking at, but if you go here and you click on this responsive design mode, Control Shift M, that is Control Shift M is the shortcut key. So if you click on that, you get something like this. So it's very interesting. Not only it is giving me this responsive area, also it is giving me some of the device names, and you might have different device names as well. So it's, first of all, it says Galaxy S9, S9 Plus, Android version 7, Android 7.0. If I click on it, it is showing me my Android S9 screen. Are you getting that? If I click on it, I click on iPad. iPad is different. So iPad, it is showing that your document will look like in iPad, something like this. Is that helpful?
And if you how can we get that responsive? I'm not getting it.
Okay. So are you using Firefox?
Yeah, I open in Firefox. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I'll tell you the step. So you have, okay, just hold on. Right. Okay. Let me just change that. So you have got something like this, right? Right now, something like this. So if you right click on it and go to inspect element, you will get this inspector or all those things where we have console, debugger, network, and everything.
Yeah, so I got that one.
In continuation, you see that this is a responsive web design. Responsive design mode is over there. Control Shift M is the shortcut key for that as well. You see? So you click on that. You click on. Okay, you cannot see that. So maybe if you cannot see that, you need to just You need to just make it extended and look at different options. You might find it, or otherwise you just press, Control Shift M.
Okay.
If you press, I've pressed Control Shift M right now. You see that I've got this changed.
Yes, I don't know. I'm not getting it. It's okay.
Okay, if you want, yes, Brock is saying that F12 is also the inspect element. So can you do? I can just. So this is the responsive mode that we are talking about. So you can always check your document in your different view areas, iPad, and you can see that iPhone, how it will show in iPhone, how it will show in iPad, things like that. So you have got lots of options over there. So you can just work on any one of them, and you will be able to see it for all the rest of them. And as I said, you can do that manually as well. You want to see this viewing area, and you want to work on this viewing area. That's up to you. So this all depends upon you. So let me just set it to, for example, iPhone 6, 7, or 8. I have just tried to settle that into that, right? So now let's talk about something more interesting. Now, if you see that this responsive web design, we can work a lot on that. So if you go again to the Bootstrap, so here you will find that Bootstrap has got a lots of options available. Now there are different options that we have. They have got the option related to layouts. They have got the options related to content. They have got the option related to forms that we'll be using. And they have components where you can just drag out some of the components. For example, if you go into the buttons, so these are the buttons that you can make very easily. So there are lots of things. Button groups we have got the list groups. So you have a number of options that you have that you can always use. So the first thing that we want to use over here is that layout. I want to go into layout, and if you see breakpoints, containers, grid, column, all these options are available over here. So if I go to, for example, containers, let's try to find out how they have the containers. So you can find out that they've got something called a default container, dot container class. You know that a class always starts with a dot. So they've got something that is called dot container, which sets max width at each responsive breakpoint. So if I set something as a class container, its max width would be set up according to each responsive point. Let me show you what I mean. Let me just open that document as well. So it says that there is a container class. So if you come to the body, come here, and if you remember, I've told you another shortcut that if you just write down the name of the class container and press a tab sign, so you'll get a div by itself. I hope you remember that, or I have told you. Now Control X, I've just deleted this D, and I want to make it for whole form. So whole form is coming inside that. So if you see here that I have made a div class is equal to container, and do you find any difference in my output? Did anyone experience that difference in my output? Yes. Let me just do that again, because of course you are doing lots of things together. So I'm just taking out this div class is equal to container from this one. For the time being, I'm taking out this class container, and see the difference. I have cutted that one and save. You see, my form is stretched to the corners. There is no margining. There is no padding. There are lots of things are missing. You see here. But what if I do that div class is equal to container? And why I am doing that? Please bear in mind. Why I am doing that? Because it says that we have got a class. The Bootstrap says that we have got a class, generic class, that is container. So what I do is that I have implemented a container class on my form and everything. If you see, I've started that div from the top and taken to the end. So this div is containing everything, and I have defined a class container. So as I do that, yes, now if I save it, can everyone feel the experience the difference? Yes, please, in the chat window, if you can just respond. So that, okay, that's very good. Now you see that it has added some margin. It has done something good for me, which is not that much, but of course. Now, what about if I start changing its width and something? So if you see, but not like that. For example, if I go to iPad, you see. So you see that when I'm going to iPad, it's just showing this one. So if I take out this one from container again, if I just do that Control X again and save this, you see the difference between this iPad. So again, I don't need to do it for every other every other viewing area. What I do is that if I apply this class container and save this, Do you see that how good it looks? Again, with respect to that margining and something like that. So far, so good. Everyone is getting what I'm just trying to explain over here. Okay, that's good. That's very good. So that's good. It means that with only a single class addition, we have started to get something really cool. And let me just we can do it for any viewing area, but I'm doing it for iPhone 6, 7, right? So it means that addition of something has really changed that one. Okay, now let's talk about few other things that we can use in in our Bootstrap. So if you come here and if you come inside these forms, because we are working on forms, so it's asking about that forms have a lots of examples and users guidelines for form control styles. There are lots of form control things, sort of things that we can use. And if you come here, let me just tell you. So they have a generic class. Let me show you where they are just doing that. Okay, so for forms, if you see that it says that there is a generic class form control that we can use with all input type elements. Form control. You see, form control. What does that mean? Let's come back to that one. And I want you to just experience something. And of course, as you are just right now typing with me as well, so you might have that problem. So if I go to this input ID and I press enter, and maybe I want to add. So add. Sorry, I'm just doing it for the date first, but first we have to do it for, again, you can do it for any sequence, but here I'm doing that. Okay, so I've just already implemented. So if you see that form is equal to class control, and that is, again, if you see that class is equal to form control. So what it is doing, it will basically, let me just take that and save that document. And let me just see that, because I would have maybe I have just done that. Okay, now it's not here. So you see that this is our first input, where we have to take first input, and if I define class equal to form dash control, right? Form control. I've given this to first, my name one. If I save this, do you see anything different? Now it has started to implement few styles on that. Now I'll do this same for all input controls. I have to copy, not cut. I will just copy this one, go to the other control and do that with that one. Class is equal to control. For email, class is equal to form control. For date, class is equal to form control. Right? For position, again, I'm just doing that right regardless of anything. Later on, I can just change that as well. Right? And then you can do that for the text area as well, because text area will also become more beautiful. And then this file upload, again, as I said, we might be changing few things, but again, right now we are just giving it. So I'm not giving it to the side submit and button. Now, if you save your document, okay, so someone said beautiful. So do you think that now it has started to work something interesting for us? Now the form is starting to looking like a very, very interesting one. Why? Because now it is now showing us, if you go to iPad, you see that in iPad it is showing us something like this. So now it has started to look beautiful. Yes, you're right. And with only a single form, and we are not using a CSS, by the way. So keep in mind, yeah, like again, our own CSS. We are not using our own CSS. Rather, what we are doing is that we are trying to use something from that one. So does everyone see this output in this way, which I am looking at it over here? Everyone can see that. So our form has started to look more and more and more professional, with only, as I said, with only few text implementations, with only few text, with only few CSS classes that we have implemented. So effectively, what we have done till now. So let me tell you, we have just implemented a class container, yeah, like in a div, and we have included everything inside that. And what we have done with every input control, I've used this form dash control, which is just changing this form control over there. So now let me just show you more options of form control. If you see that in form controls, this is text, this is disabled form. There are lots of things you can always go and check. And let me just show you that I wanted to show you, for example, this layout of the forms. Okay, let's grid. Okay, let me just see that from input, file input. I want to check file input. I can show you some options for the file input. You see here. So a default file input is something like this that we see over here. If you see, the default file input is coming like this one. If I want to change that one, so you see, if you want to change that one, you have multiple files input, choose file, and this one, and this is large input file, small input file, large input file. I want to show you that. So if you see that, what we need to do, we just need to do form control and form control LG. Another class I need to add that. So if I add this one and go here in my form, in my file control, right? So this is the file control where we are loading that file. So if you come here and just paste that form control LG, right? Open up the document and now save this one. You'll see the difference. So what has happened? The large box has come. The large box has appeared. Everyone can see that, but of course we don't want that. And there are lots of other options as well. If you want to go for the small one, we can just do that LG to SM. You see what we can do is that change this LG to SM, and it will go to the smaller size. You see, it has gone to the smaller size other than that one. So if you want to put that, but I don't want to do that. And there is another which was used in Bootstrap 4. Right now we are in Bootstrap 5. It was, I think, form control file. If I save that one, so it shows more or less like this form control. No, I'm wrong type. It's here, form control file. It was. So you see that it is a bit different, which does not look that good. So but you can use what is that form control will evenly work for that. So if you want to implement any other thing, you can always go about that and you can change those particular things. You got everyone? Now what is remaining now? What is the remaining thing? These two buttons are coming very, stretching like it is. They're stuck to this stop, and as well as they are on the left side, and we have to implement that on the right side. So let's go to the button part first. Let's go to the buttons, and buttons will be in components. If you go in components and if you find buttons, you see that there are primary, secondary, success, ranger, warning, info. All these buttons have been previously designed for us. So what I want to do is that, for example, if I want to implement a button as BTN primary, this one, so I'll use this BTN primary in a button. If I go to this one, Control C. So before even just adjusting their size, what we want to do, I want to implement a class in it. First button. Okay, I need to have class. Class equal to BTN primary. Right? So let me just show you when I save what will happen. So if I save this one, that's good. Now we don't need to implement so many things. What we can do is that we can just say that the button primary, I want to use that one. And in the same way, if you see here, we have got class is equal to button secondary. This one, the secondary, or maybe let's take the success one. I'm taking this success button over here, and let me just change that one to the second button. Where is that one? It's here. So I want to implement a class over here of button success. So if I save that one, you see there's two buttons that appear. Right? Now, one thing that, as I said, that they are on the left as well. First of all, we have changed the classes of these buttons. Now the buttons look more beautiful. And now what we want to do is that we want to just, adjust them and we want to align them. So for alignment, for layout alignment, and let me just find out, there is a flex over here as well in this. You remember we have talked about flex a lot. So there's a flex model over here as well in our document. So what it says that if you want to implement something in the flex, so you have to just make, for example, use dot flex row to set horizontal row direction in this one, or dot flex row reverse if you want to put them on the right side. You see here, and how do we use them? And what we need to do is that we will need to just implement this dot d slash flex. This is something that we can use to implement our classes. So let's copy this one, and I will not be using this one. Rather, I want to use this this for the reverse side. So let me just copy this from here, and I'll just change that. I'm copying this. Go to your form, and these two forms are inside this button class. Now I don't want this button class. You remember we have used this button class to manage them on our CSS, our own CSS. But here I'm giving it a class. everything. So class equal to D, not inline flex. I want to make it. I'll just show you. So what I want to do is that first of all, I want to do it D dash flex. So just change it to D dash flex. So it will become a flex, right? The flexible. And then if you see here, add this one, the second one, it says dot flex row reverse. It means by dot, it means it's a class. So I just copy this one from here, Control C, and I come here and I paste this one over here, flex row reverse, right? And I can show you the document as well. Now let's save this one. You see my buttons have gone that part. Everyone is following me because I have not taken a feedback from so long. I wanted to have a quick feedback. That's very good. That's very good. So now your form looks like more beautiful. One double quote is extra where. Oh, okay, no problem. So that might be affecting that as well. It's not affecting, but anyhow, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. So now we have got one, that one. So now I hope everyone is, that's very good. Everyone is following. Now another very important and interesting thing, which we will be just doing, margin. What is the type of margin? How we can use margins? Margin and padding is very easy in that. So you know the M is used for margin and P is used for padding. What does that mean? If you say, for example, you know, if you say that I want to have a margin and margin on top, so I will say MP, margin top. I can see margin bottom, margin. So you remember there is something called margin. We have already talked about that. So if you just use this margin in a class, that M, if you use that, it will just implement those different effects for us. Let me just show you the effects that we can implement. If you see what things we want to place margin on. So if you see that this text area is very much stuck into the position. So let's go to the text area. And here we have already defined a class, form control, right? What I can do is that I can give it a margin top, empty, of 2 pixels, empty-2. And where I am, please bear in mind, I'm inside text area and I'm inside this inside this class equal to, and I use empty-2. If you save this one, do you see any difference? Of course, 2 looks a bit less. If I do 3, do you see my difference? That now my text area has started to gone away from that. So now, if that is happening, can I do that with the button as well? Of course, yes. If I go here and say margin top equal to, margin top not equal to, margin top -3, empty-3. If I save this one, you see my buttons have come to the bottom, right? And these buttons are strict with each other. So it means, if you can anyone tell me what should I do? Of course, you know, if I come here, I'm not implementing any class over here. If I do class equal to, and I say, for example, let's check first of all margin 2. If I give it a margin 2, right? Okay. Oh, I'm using a class. I forgot that I'm using a class over here. So I will just use that one, right? We can implement 2 classes over here. So if I say margin overall, I'm just giving an overall margin to this, margin 2. So you see, it looks like a bit odd, or to say that it's going down. So let's do it margin right, -2. Okay. It's left. If it is left. Oh, it's not working. What should I use? Someone can help me out. ML-2. Margin left 2. Not working. Margin right 2. Okay. Margin left 2. I just give it a margin. Padding in div. What do you mean? Is that a question or your concern or something? I am not understanding what you are saying. Okay, now I've just implemented the margin instead of bottom. Okay, you say that we can implement the padding, but you know the padding. If you want to say that, for example, we can do that padding into this div, right? So you want to say that I can implement this padding. So if you will do that padding over here, if I do that, let's take out this empty and E-3 padding the 3. So you see what will happen. So inside that div, they will be stretched, like, you know, they will be squeezed to the. You remember that we have talked, and I remember you asked this question. So this div is basically a box around that. And if I do something like that, let me just select that one and you'll see the difference. So now this is our div. So when we are doing that flex row reverse, if you see here, so if you just implement, if you are doing that padding means you are just including that space, that inside space. Are you getting that? So padding does not work. Basically, what we want is that we want to just make them separately. So you can do that by M2. So there are lots of options by using. So you can always go through all these options, and you will love to just work on that, all those options. Now, if you see our form, that form looks a bit more, presentable, bit more useful now. And what I can do over here is that I can change to different views areas. So if you see, if you will be looking at it in my mobile device, you will be doing something like that. If you are working in iPhone, so iPhone it is setting down. Why? I'll have to just check that maybe here or something. Why it is not giving for the iPhone or something. So anyhow, we'll check that. But anyhow, so if you see here that it is basically providing us that same form. So you remember this form, we have only worked on few of the things. If you see that we have just implemented merely few classes, and now it is working so much good for us that it is now providing this option. Okay, so one of the things, if you remember that we had this list, so by default in Bootstrap 4, it did not support this list, and even this list did not used to appear. But what you can do, and there is no drop down menu being shown over here. So if you want to make a drop down menu, you can always make a select option and things like that. You have got those options with you. So this is the form that we wanted to use for, like, this is the thing that we wanted to use for the Bootstrap like environment, and we wanted to see that how we can just change this to the non-responsive design. Like this is the normal website design what we have, and this normal website design will be basically acting over here. All right. So you can just look at it. Right. So I hope everyone has followed me, and I hope now you have got like a good sense of this Bootstrap. And I will be using this Bootstrap maybe in next week's class as well for some more effects over here. But of course, you have this all world open for this Bootstrap, and you can go there and find out this content, tables, how can you work on tables. So it will be just only a single clicks or single, values, and your tables and everything will be interestingly going into that. So that's Flex was in utilities. As I was saying, Flex is in utilities. So you can just find that